Another foodie show where the fun begins. Cooking up a storm with all our chef friends. Reviews and recipes that will blow your mind. Live shows and laughter, a good time you'll find. Join us for the ride on this culinary quest. Johnny and Dana will never settle for less. Laughs and interviews that will educate. Another foodie show, don't wanna be late. Another foodie show where the fun begins. Cooking up a storm with all our chef friends. Reviews and recipes that will blow your mind. Live shows and laughter, a good time you'll find. Join us for the ride on this culinary quest. Johnny and Dana will never settle for less. Laughs and interviews that will educate. Another foodie show, don't wanna be late. Another foodie show.
Hey, that's awesome, bro. Hey, I started to watch it earlier, but I was like, no, I don't want to be shocked just like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to
watched-
another foodie show.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Right off the rip. Let's go.
If that don't give you hype, I don't know what Johnsy did.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's ready to run through a brick wall? This guy. Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to another foodie show. You heard it from these two beautiful gentlemen. We're ready to rip, ready to get it. We are cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
My man.
Hey, came
My
through.
man.
Let's go.
My man.
Straight out of California. Throwing
And-
darts.
Right tonight, we are blessed tonight to have the boss man with us, Tony, the Dude Network, aka Tony Dollars, aka Fat Boy Bundy, here tonight with us. Yeah,
Whoa.
You didn't think I remembered that one, did you?
You breeze by
You
that
didn't think I remembered that
one.
one.
You
about
can't
that.
breeze by that nickname.
You didn't think I had receipts, but I do. And we are joined
bro,
together
I ain't gonna
because
lie to you. Homie got a little faded on Friday.
homie, you did.
Yeah, I don't know. We might
I think
all
we
been
all
there.
did.
I was
Yeah, I
having
think.
one of the best times ever with the Dad Ass podcast. And then
As
we slid
always.
right into Saturday night, which was just like,
Hey, speaking of Saturday, I'm still eating
here we
that-
go.
I'm still eating that Pien's popcorn, bro.
Yeah, Ken's Corn, man. Shout out
Ken's-
Ken'sCorn.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm still eating it, bro.
The whole family
said-
tried it today.
Mm.
They were
Oh.
freaking out. I told them, do not try the Reaper because my family cannot, listen to me, cannot do spice. And I joked for like 2.5 seconds about it not being hot enough. It is some
Hey.
of the hottest food. Look, Takis, all that, in the hip
Takis is
crowd,
child's play.
bull crap, hot stuff. No, it don't even hold a candle.
Hey,
I
it's
don't
so-
fear the Reaper, bro.
hey, it's so wild. My mom, she is zero spice worse than me. I was like, hey, mom, you want to try this?
Worse than you?
Yes. I was like, hey,
Oh,
mom,
I
you want to
didn't
try
even know
this?
that
And we
was
kind of hyped it up for a second. So she took and grabbed like 3 or 4 pieces and was fixing to eat all 3 or 4 pieces. I was like, whoa.
Negative.
Get one.
Negative.
Get one. Please get one. She
Negative.
got one. It lit her up.
Oh, man. You heard it here
Hey,
first.
poor-
Damon don't like his mom.
I tortured my mom.
That's a cruel joke, bro. That's
Is
cruel.
it though?
Not really,
Or
because
yes.
I just hey,
Or is
So,
it just like a little, tap
so
back?
anybody watching this right here, and be prepared. If you come to a party at my house and there's a bowl of popcorn with no label,
Smell it
it's for
first.
you.
Hey,
It's for
look,
you.
here's the deal. No, hey, Tony's saying smell it. We all smelt it first. We're like,
It don't
oh,
have no
this is
smell.
That is
cool.
true.
This
I
is
went back and
perfect.
watched the replay on
Yeah.
that.
This
It
is
has zero
perfect.
smell. All of
Hey,
us
and
is
look,
I really felt I
Look.
took 3 handfuls. I went back and it was just
You did
one.
not. You
Just
took
one.
one.
Just one.
I took 3 handfuls.
Johnson,
Damon,
Yeah.
Damon was the smartest one out
Nope.
of all of us and ate 3 pieces, 3
That's
to 4
right.
pieces in one little
3 or
handful.
4. Yeah.
I ate it like it was regular popcorn, and I was like, and look, the receipts are out there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is good because it is.
Yeah, oh, no doubt.
Because it is.
Yeah, yeah.
You taste the oregano, you taste the garlic, you taste all the flavors, and then all of a sudden, that little thing called what is that pepper called? I don't know. The Carolina Reaper creeps in, and then you are Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover when Mike Tyson just goes, "Whoop-ah!"
Yep. Just smacks you right in
and
your
you're
mouth.
like, "Oh, this is a mistake." And there was this point in that show where I realized Johnsy had made a horrible mistake. And look, go back. I'm not going to give
It was
any
the
more
5
details.
garage beer popcorn. I was already
We're not
on
going to
my
give
way.
any more details.
Yep.
Tony had a rough time. Johnsy had a rough time. Damon had a rough time, but he was sitting there a little bit easier than the rest of us.
That's right.
He played it smart.
Yep.
It's not anything about I ate more, he ate more. No. Damon played the intelligence card and was like, I'm going to give it a rip.
Well,
and the rest of us were like, oh, popcorn.
goes to show you, the older
we
the berry,
suffered
the wiser the juice.
Right. We suffered the consequences. Right, Tony?
Yeah. That's it. We did.
Tony had to go get some milk.
But we are not
I just drank garage beer like a man.
And shout out Garage Beer and MST, but we're not here for that tonight.
Yeah, let's pivot. Let's make a pivot.
We are here for an explanation. We got questions. There was a statement made last time, and there was a little bit of inference. There was some inferred part of this about what we're going to talk about. And so we are bringing back none other than the executive / co-founder chef from Tapas del Lago. It also started a private chef company, North Shore, North Coast. I apologize, Ben. Private chef company, but the man, the myth, who's worked with all the legends. We're going to settle it tonight. Is it worth it to travel to a restaurant based on the Michelin Stars? Chef Benjamin Brittsan again. Let's go.
Hello, guys. Thank you.
Welcome back, bro. Welcome back.
This is my pleasure. This is fun. I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, we like to give people an escape
Thank
from
you,
life
sir.
for a little bit. Yeah.
Thank you, Chef.
That just means you got a little debauchery in you. You got a little shit and get in you. I like this guy. I like him. He wants to be out there.
He's got a little dude in him.
Yeah. I'd like to see what this guy could do with $10 or less, though. That'd be cool.
Probably a little bit more than the rest of us.
Yeah, probably a little better than what
you guys are pretty good. I've been keeping up. You guys have your shit together. You really do.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
You do. The cooking is off the charts. I don't think I can throw down barbecue as well as you guys at all. It's not even, no way.
But you say that, Chef, and it's like I tell everybody else, everybody has their own place. You do your thing just as well as you do, as we do our thing just as well as we do. So, everybody's got a place in this whole game here.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'll
go toe to toe to anybody in casseroles. My casserole.
I love casseroles.
Right. So
that's the Appalachian in me, though, man. That's all we ate as a kid was casseroles.
We started this show when? When did we start this show?
January
year and a half
last year.
You're creeping up on 18 months.
January 1, 2023.
That's right.
And there's been a lot of foodie stuff talked about on here.
Yep.
A lot. But we are about to get down to the brass tacks, folks. The brass tacks.
I got a quick question for Chef.
Absolutely.
Because barbecue, is there a world we live in that when we do take over Chicago, and we will take over Chicago, that we can incorporate some of our barbecue cuisine into your tapas fusion menu for a night or a weekend?
That is an absolute yes.
Listen,
for sure.
Dude,
All right.
look,
Chicago has never
you're
seen
asking
smoker fried
questions.
wings in their life
Here we
until
come,
I showed up.
Chicago. What's the anthem out there? Chicago, oh windy city, land of liberty.
Right?
Yeah.
We're not that far off, right, Chef?
Not at all. Not at all.
Style mantra anthem I think I've made up in 2 seconds in my life. Let's go.
I didn't know whether I need to like bow my head or.
No, that would be awesome. Yeah. Oh no, it'd be a pleasure to have you guys there.
Oh yeah,
No,
it's on. We will talk about that later. That it's on.
That's a conversation off camera.
100% on the table. But
it's been. We're thinking about it.
Chef,
well, it's not really.
How was your week, man? How was your week?
It was great. It was good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great. It was busy. It was eventful. You know, just another day. Just one step in front of the other every day. Just keep it going. That's about it. You know, progress. Progress is the game, right?
Yeah, man. So what's okay? Summertime. What's okay? That's obviously your probably peak season in Chicago because wintertime's going to be really cold out there. You get a lot. It's called the Windy City for a reason. It's on the lake, so the wind is not only windy, it's also very chilly. So what is your like peak season out there? Are you living it right now, or is it too hot? Or are you guys more of like a September, like May, June, September, October vibe?
Like in terms of the restaurant, I mean, busy season. Just in Chicago in general is. I would say probably May. I mean, the summer months. I mean, the heat doesn't bother me. It probably affects some patio weather for sure. I mean, just like any other state, you know, when you get the direct heat and, you know, and then you get crazy humidity where you just get mosquitoes and nobody wants to sit outside. So, you know, that sort of thing. But the fall weather for me, I think we touched on this last time, is where we really pick up then because the breezes come in. You know, it's a little chilly, so you kind of get the long sleeve shirts on, maybe a sweater, something like that, and everybody, you know, digs in, especially for tapas with those warm flavors and the pimenton and all that stuff. It kind of lends itself to maybe chillier weather, definitely patio weather. But I love eating tapas and, you know, that kind of comfort countrified food in chilly, you know, in fall time. And fall is the best time to cook.
I have really fat bones, as they would say. So yeah, that actually sounds great. That nice long sleeve weather right there.
Yeah, I'm not just plump. I'm festively plump.
That's what my mom always told me.
You big bone.
Festives happen 4 seasons out of the year, so that's why I'm plump, folks.
Yeah. Let's go.
Lord bless.
I can't. So I answered the question. I didn't remember what I just said, but I think I answered it.
Fall. Yeah,
sure.
Fall.
Peak season.
Yeah, fall's the best time.
Yeah,
the seasons are cooler. Autumn. Hey, no. So I got one. This is my favorite time of year because they finally bring back pumpkin flavor. Because apparently over here in the States, we can only have pumpkin during fall and winter. It can't be a year-round spice. So what are we doing with pumpkin this year?
That's a very good question. So I think, you know, I love incorporating pumpkin and late summer squash into risottos, which obviously is not Spanish. But I love, and then there's a really awesome pasta dish. You could do it with bucatini, or you could do it with, you know, something else where you can really kind of suck up some of those flavors. But just caramelized squash and onions, tons of olive oil, and just a pecorino or Parmesan cheese. But I love squash. I love pumpkin. I love Indian food, so I love the squash in there too.
Yes.
But you know, pumpkin bread pudding is probably as cliche as we could probably get. You know what we do, but we do that with like maple. You know, we do throw a bit of curry in there, brown butter, and yeah, it's scrumptious. So I love pumpkin. You know, the pumpkin lattes and the whole Starbucks thing I'm not really into, but cooking with pumpkin I love.
Whoa, yeah, no, we ain't into that fake BS. We ain't into that fake BS.
No, we're not into red dot number 30.
Real pumpkin dishes.
No, sir. No.
Yeah, nah.
I will say,
Double
have you ever
whatever.
had smoke? Has any of you guys ever smoked a butternut squash before?
Yeah,
I haven't smoked one,
I
but
haven't
I have
smoked it, but
definitely
I have had
boiled
it.
them
Yeah,
and
dude,
then
it's the
made
have.
it
easiest
into
thing
other
ever.
Yeah.
things.
It's so
Really?
easy too.
Okay.
Yeah, because it
Yeah,
makes
I
that
have.
little
Yeah.
pit, and you put your brown sugar down in there, and it just does that thing. Yeah.
He said,
Yeah, I love smoke. Smoking anything is really. I think the grill smokers. It's the most deliciously primitive way of cooking. I mean, it really is. It's awesome.
So we
Yeah,
talked
I mean,
about this last week. We
Yeah.
did. Way to come full circle, Ben. You know what I mean? Like the chef knows. In the kitchen, the chef knows. We talked about this. Like when humans, before Homo sapiens, we discovered fire. We had already been procuring food and this and that. And we figured out, hey, if you cook stuff, it's also good. Or some things are better this way. And
Mhm.
I just don't disagree with your statement. Whether you're a pro barbecue or whether you're just burning stuff on a grill for a little bit of extra flavor after cooking sous vide, whatever, this and that, it
Amen to
doesn't
that.
matter. There's something innately human originally about fire and meat. And it speaks, like, I feel like it speaks to our core as people.
I agree. Well
Terry,
said.
I sent you a message.
Man,
That
I'm
was
not sure
really.
where that came from.
Oh, I say you brought out from
That was great.
I
You
mean,
should have wrote that down.
I needed a
It's already-
lighter so I could start
it's
waving
already
that
cute.
son of a gun.
I mean, here we got three of the best of the best right here. Am I wrong?
Nah, just bad.
Yeah, like 1, 2, 2, 3.
Yeah, maybe the master pasta roller up there above me. I'm just
I
down here
do
slinging
love-
frozen tater tots and chicken nuggets to my 4 and 6-year-old. That's what they're.
But
into
hold
right
on
now.
a second. Well, hold on a
I've
second.
been there too. Don't worry.
Are you fulfilling?
Actually, I feel like I still am.
Yeah,
We're still
man,
there.
it's crazy. They did eat my concoction tonight though, so I was top of the world. Yeah. It's a
What
big
did you
deal.
make?
Well, I did the baguettes, and then I did some softened cream
that's right.
cheese with the zesty anything bagel seasoning, and then I put
Which
that
we
on
should
top.
definitely get
And
some
then I
of that
did
to Ben.
a Swaggerty sage rosemary sausage, and then crumpled that and put it on top of the cream cheese, baked it for another 15 minutes, then topped with some fresh garden lunchbox mini sweet peppers. Boom.
Yes,
I felt like
please.
I felt it was a tapas dish. I thought it was I knew you were coming on tonight, and I was just like, I got this. I was like, I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
sounds good. I'm gonna steal that.
Hey, please do. I need to get you a bottle of Zab. I want to get you a bottle of Zest.
Yeah, we need to make that happen.
Yeah, just for you to
whether
have
you
and
got
enjoy.
it, I
wanna
got
get
it.
you one.
We'll send it out to you for sure.
Yeah, get me your.
Oh, I'd
get me
love
your
that.
address, Jeff. Yeah, seriously.
Okay, no worries. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, appreciate you, man. It's the least we can do. Least we can do. For all
Right,
your time.
right.
Give you a
No, this
$9
is fun. This
bottle.
is the highlight of my day. So I've been ready for this.
Quit it.
Oh, now you're gonna make Johnsy blush.
I'm
Don't
serious.
do it.
You
Don't
got
do it.
get that man some tissue.
See, John's got the fan blowing up there. That's how
Yeah.
hot his blood's flowing right now, Chef. He's all hot and he's got everything.
So to be totally fair, I'm like way more chefy, like fanatic kitchen than these guys, and I don't mean that in
No
any
doubt.
dig.
No,
Right, Damon,
no.
you're
no
we're
doubt.
right
Yep.
together. We're
Yep.
right together.
Yeah, no
It's
doubt.
no dig, no nothing. But I really like to go far. Like I'm rolling my own pasta. I'm making
yep.
the dough. I'm doing this. I'm growing the ingredients and I'm putting it into the pasta. I'm a freak for that kind of stuff because food for me is an adventure. And so like that's why they keep he's probably freaking out because folks, I really am. This is like my nerd out session right here.
Yeah, it's fun just to do a very focused deep dive because it's hard when you're into like food like we are.
I won't go
that
cry in the car.
circle
I'll
of
cry
friends
right
that
here.
can that circle of friends that can carry on the conversation at the level that you pine for is very small. So
Right.
this is our
Right.
this is our like
Right,
nerd out
Tony.
session, and it's like, listen,
Exactly.
you can listen if you want, but if you don't, I don't care. I'm still getting it off my chest, So.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, folks,
I'm glad to be here. So thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
which still continues. We still feel like this is some sort of weird prank on us, but we're going to ride with it. We talked about crazy cool plates and this and that. We showed you Tapas del Lago. We showed you some of the fancier stuff. We showed you Tapas, all this kind of stuff. And we started getting into Michelin stars and what all that entails. What does a Michelin, what do you do to get a Michelin star? How do you get 2? How do you get 3? Because that's, I think 3 is the limit, if I'm not
3's the limit.
Right, 3 is the limit. So there is a whole bunch of history behind this. All the way back to the 1800s is when Michelin stars started. And we got a guy with boots on the ground here who has been in the industry enough to know what we're talking about and weigh in, which is just really cool for us because what do you mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was odd.
Did he just get possessed? Like mid-sentence?
man.
Did he just
I'm here.
Welcome to another footy show.
we thought you just got literally possessed by some demon mid-sentence.
Big joke. So what is a Michelin star? A Michelin
What is one?
star-
Okay. Are we going there now?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want to look, I have a bunch of pages pulled up from Michelin website about this. But if you want to, I would much rather you tell us about this. It's way more important coming from you, and it means way more to our audience.
Well, you probably have a lot more of the nitty gritty details of Michelin, and probably a lot of dates and things that I probably don't know.
Well, why don't you start and we'll fill in the gaps from there? How about that? Is that good with everybody?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Michelin
for the ride
is the exact same company that does the tires. So a lot of people that are kind of like, oh, Michelin, why did they get into food? What happened? Why are they doing tires and food? Yeah, it's the biggest certifying agency with food that there is. I mean, it's almost like, there's a bunch of organic certifiers as well, and QAI being the largest organic certifier in the entire country and also the world. Who I've worked with in the past. Michelin is the end all be all to restaurant certification, period.
Right.
And 1, 2, and 3 stars. It is the journey of a chef or a person probably at an early age who wants to become a chef. Perhaps one decides, halfway through their journey as a chef that their goal is now to get a Michelin star. It's actually a thing that chefs chase, and a lot of people get into the restaurant game because they just want to open a restaurant, and that's great. But when you're a chef operating at a very high level, the ultimate is obtaining a star, and then 2, and then 3. And starting in Europe, of course, it found its way into the States. I don't exactly remember the year, but not too long ago. I mean, it's still kind of super fresh in the States, and they really only certify in the major cities. You're not really going to be certified Michelin, it's probably a small town in Idaho, but most likely New York, LA, Chicago.
Right. Folks in Turlock, California, probably not getting a Michelin rating. Sorry. There's some
I
good
know,
restaurants
I know
here,
they're
but
going to give them Michelin
Yeah.
stars.
You
down
are-
where I
you
kick
are
ass
not
with.
getting a Michelin rating.
I graduated with 83 kids at a public school. Yeah, there's no
Right,
way
right.
Michelin's coming down here. Yeah. They don't even know if they sell Michelin tires down here, to be honest.
Yeah, you're either getting the tires, but maybe not a star. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, 1 star. In order to get 1 star, it's you have to essentially you have to bring in the best product. And we're talking in Europe, standards are, I believe, still way higher than they are in the States. Way higher. Just the standards are higher. I think the competition is more fierce still as well. I mean, you have these incredible French, Italian, Spanish. I mean,
Right.
you have the whole
Right.
region of Europe that's competing for Michelin stars.
Right.
Whereas there's only a few select states, or cities that are competing for stars in the United States.
Bingo.
So there's that. I think that's kind of what we touched on the last time was,
Right.
Michelin in the States is completely different. And then, of course, when I was talking with Marco Pure White and him saying the exact same thing,
Right.
where, just
Which,
because
if
you have a
anybody
star.
has anything to say about it, Marco has a leg to stand on.
Mhm.
I mean, like literally one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Is it too
Yeah.
soon to ask the question, in your opinion, Chef, is it worth the hassle to get a star? Does it generate that much more revenue for an establishment? that
for
needs it?
sure.
Do people
Absolutely.
literally travel the world to only eat at Michelin restaurants? That's my question.
Yes.
Because it sounds like a lot of
Yes.
extra political effort as well as physical effort.
Absolutely. And I think and I'm in the process right now of dabbling in possibly creating a restaurant. And I think I've reached a point in my career where I've said,
You heard
I
it here
think-
first, folks.
I think
You
now
heard it here
is a
first.
time. And it could have been our conversation 2 weeks ago that might have triggered that, but I really kind of dug deep. And anyway, we can get into that later. But I am on
Don't
that
put that on
journey.
us. That's all I ask. Don't put
Yeah.
that on us. Yeah,
No.
that was happening before that. Nope.
Yeah, you're way cooler than the Dude
No,
Network.
you saw some kid
No,
walking
no,
down
no,
the
no,
street dragging a ball stick, and he motivated
you know what?
Like,
Hey,
I want
boss
to be
man,
like that kid.
look.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Hey, boss, this is our show. You be quiet.
Oh,
You're welcome, chef, for getting you and
here, I'll have that.
and reach out to the Michelin chef. Like,
The-
let's freaking go.
The minute Michelin gives me a call and says you've got your star, we're going to come back on, or we'll just do a live thing on there, and we'll make it happen. But yeah, to get the 1 star, your food just needs to be
Exceptional, right?
exceptional. It needs to be better than the rest. And I think to get that 1 star, also, it's a little bit of luck. That first one, there needs to be a draw.
Right.
They're going to come 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It has to be consistent per se, but they have to have a phenomenal experience that first time. And they come back again, just like on The Bear or any other movie. It's pretty accurate. They put you through some tests. You really don't know who they are. They remain anonymous. Although I think now in the States, some people
You kind of
do know
right,
who they are.
Right.
I think it's a little bit more private in Europe. I'm sure in France, it's probably a little bit more, reserved.
Well, they're
But
just probably a little better at it than we are.
Yeah, maybe. It very well might
mean,
be.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking shit over here.
Yes.
I'm just being
I mean,
factual.
Yeah, you have Alain Ducasse, you have Joël Robuchon, rest in peace. You have, that guy has, what does Alain Ducasse have? 35 Michelin stars? Some maybe even 40. He's the most decorated chef
Wow.
Insane.
ever.
Right.
An insane amount. But then to get 2, you have to be as consistent as the first time they came in.
Yep.
And you need the food, and Marco touches on this too. And he actually goes into great detail in Michelin. It's a really cool clip to watch. So after this, if anybody wants to dig into Marco and he talks about Michelin, it's very cool. So I might rip off a couple things that he says.
Right.
Sorry?
I said Marco Pierre White is who he's talking about right there.
Yes,
Good
Marco
guy.
Pure White. Amazing guy. So that second star, Michelin needs to feel that the food, and we touched on this last time too, is an extension of the chef. There's personality that flows from the chef, an extension of him or her as a person. And that's the second one. So you have, of course, service, you have, of course, consistency, you know, seasonal, hyper seasonal product.
Right.
And, and then the third star is that Michelin knows that you are a restaurant where, they would travel to, people would travel to. So
Right,
people still
right.
travel to 1 and 2s. Michelin will certify you a third star if they know that there's that draw. You are drawing a customer base. People are turned on to you as a chef, your food, and it's sort of like the stamp of approval is that third star. 1 Michelin star is phenomenal, and I would love to get one.
Right.
I mean, but 3, you're
Best
you
of
made
the
it.
best.
That's what it is.
Right.
The kicker, though, and the catch-22, and this is where a lot of chefs, or at least back in the day,
Here we go.
are going, go downhill. They get into some stuff that maybe they shouldn't get into. We don't need to touch on the big negative thing,
Nope.
but
Right.
some suicide might be involved, especially in the show. People are like, why are you going to kill yourself over food? Well, that climb, that journey to get those 3 Michelin stars and those hours and the intensity, and it's like
Years.
a triathlon every day.
Years.
They can pull the stars too. Yeah, they can take them away. So just as easily you have 1, 2, or 3, or not easily, Michelin can just as easily rip those hopes and dreams away from you and your whole team.
Right.
And
you get all 3, and the next year they come back and they don't. Maybe you don't have the draw anymore, or it's not as seasonal and this and that, but it's consistent. You get 1. Well, for someone who is like, I'm the best of the best, to fall to basically where they're feeling like they're run of the mill. There's a lot of ego when you get into this food world at this level, where people really feel like, look, I'm the chef in this area. Me, I create these dishes. I do that. There's so much ego involved. I've worked in kitchens. I started my working career in kitchens for a lot of years, and there is, like, it doesn't matter if you own the restaurant or you're just a cook they hired, and you're like, look, I changed this menu. I'm the one who perfected it. Like, there is.
Yes.
My arena. And
yes.
You come into someone who's been on top, and you're like, well, you're nowhere near the top, but you're consistent. You're still making it. Like, that's like saying, hey, Damon, you might be the three-time champ, but hey, it's just good this time.
That's right. Oh. No, it's for sure.
What do you mean it's just like, good? I haven't changed nothing.
And we've all had off days. We've all had off days.
Everybody has off days. But it's like Chef said, look, I've done a lot of research on this. Like, there's a whole, group of Michelin star anonymous people that they send out to your restaurant, and they're hitting it at different times repeatedly. You don't know who they are. They're anonymous. I'm sure in the restaurant world, who at least a few of them are. We as laymen's do not. I have no idea who any of the Michelin judges are. And they go out multiple times over and over, each person, and they create a whole consensus and then vote on the 3 stars. Consistency, freshness, seasonal, this and this and that. And then he said, I'm probably not saying it right, over the top, just doing it, whatever. The 3 things that Ben said, 3 things that this man said. And if you don't meet, look, these are the people who travel the world and only taste the best restaurants. So if they come back to your restaurant and it's the exact same as last year, you should be able to, in our minds, in theory, retain your 3 stars because nothing's changed, correct? But to these hoity-toities or whatever, oh, well, it's the same, so 1. And you're like, F you, I have worked so hard to keep this so perfect, and I'm getting 1?
Well, I don't know. If what
Ben
Chef
touched
tell
on
me,
it last time. Ben touched on it last time.
I don't want to race straight to 3. I'm not in a rush to get the 3. What he's telling me, I don't
No,
know.
me
I just
either.
I'd just go with the 1. I think I just want 1. Just give me
Tony,
1.
we're regular
Yeah.
people. We're regular.
Yeah, I mean,
people.
I think that's the I mean, it's almost addictive, right? It's sort of like you get the 1 and you're like, well, team, and it's not just well, it is. We have our 1 star. If we got 1, can we push a little bit more and get 2? I'm sure we can. So then we go. And then
And
we
if
get
we
2.
can get 2, we can get 3.
We can get 3. And again, Marco touches on this so much. And again, I mean, I'll talk about that guy
all day
for hours and hours and hours. He is the end all be all of just the philosophy of food and everything.
Right.
But the interesting thing about him, and he didn't lose any stars. He built and built and built and built and built until he realized, which a lot of chefs, I don't think I've read in any publication or just heard of anybody talk of it, that somebody has quit or retired. But Marco did. And the reason why he did was, at least the story that he and it's all over a bunch of different interviews that he's done. So he was fishing on the bank in some river in upper North Yorkshire, where he was living at the time. And he said, yeah, and was sitting, and he said, Marco, you're being judged by people who have less knowledge than you. So what is it all worth?
Right.
You know? And so he said, I have 3 options. I can live, there's 3 things I can do. 1, I can live a lie and sacrifice my integrity as a chef and not be behind my stove and continue to have people show up when I'm not there, which tons of chefs do now. Tons. Who have 2, 3 stars. And you go there, and I've been to plenty of restaurants where I've wanted to taste somebody's food, and I find out they're
not even
somewhere else. And it's still their food. It's still but it's their second best person or third best person, but their name's on the door, you know. And it's kind of like, what are you paying for if that person's not cooking? That's maybe more the old school mentality now, you know, because you should be able to dictate your hierarchy and let them do your work if you need to take a day.
Absolutely. That's not wrong either.
Absolutely.
So delegating is part of the industry, and I get that. But when you're at that level, you better be not touching the tables, but in the kitchen. I think so. If you need to take a day, maybe let everyone know. You know, just, you know, we're not here this day. I don't know. That's a different thing. But then he said, or I can continue to work 18 hours a day, living this life that I've been doing, whether I feel that it's worth it or not, kissing my kids goodnight in the morning, not, you know, just not seeing his family at all.
Bingo.
What it takes, or at least it took at that time, or what he wanted to do, what he felt was necessary. And 3, give back my stars to Michelin. Tomorrow I'll be unemployed. I'll still cook, but I'll have no status in the industry. And he chose the 3rd option. He called up Michelin, said, I'm going to give back my 3 stars. Still going to cook. I'll still be involved in the industry. He still does Master Chef UK or in Australia, and, you know, does all those things that you still see him do. But he retired from cooking because he didn't want to sacrifice his integrity.
When it comes to Marco Pierre White, because that's who we're talking about right this second, how much has his reputation suffered from giving those back? 0, folks.
0.
Absolutely 0.
0. Absolutely, because he was honest about it, and I think, and he opened the box, shed a ton of light on the whole thing. It's a ton, and I think chefs and people in the industry kind of really bought into that, you know, and just and tons of respect for that guy. Tons. I mean, granted, he was the first, you know, the youngest British chef ever to win 3 Michelin stars.
Right.
He wrote White Heat. I mean, one of the coolest culinary books of our time, maybe could possibly ever been written.
Right.
Amazing photography, inspired tons of people. Trained Gordon Ramsay, Heston Blumenthal, just tons. Just had Mara Batali, tons of people.
Names you don't even know about. That's the crazy thing. Like, you can probably pick out 3 or 4 of the top names he's trained, and there's 20 more behind those.
Yes, and they're all monsters, and they're all huge names,
giants in their field.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for him, I mean, he really What a cool guy.
Maybe they all would have been chefs. Maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the dude.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know why I jump back into Marco Pure White, but but those 3 stars, and he just kind of he got it, and a lot of people don't, or at least people back in the day didn't have, or thought they didn't have that option. Maybe they were embarrassed. They got the 2, or they had 1 taken away, and in France, Europe, until they came to the States, I think 2 of Gordon Ramsay's, or one of Ramsay's exec chefs had 2 or 3 stars, and 1 was taken away, and unfortunately he killed himself over it. And a lot of French chefs, more French people, I believe, more French chefs than anyone have taken their own lives because of Michelin, which is very interesting. But more probably because because they feel it's such, for a chef, it's such, it's their way of life, and you're taking that away. So it's interesting.
That is pretty wild. That's
Yeah.
pretty wild. And I get it though, Damon, you can attest to this, like, being in like a barbecue comp world, whenever you get to, like me, if I ever won like Memphis in May or the American Royal, I don't know how you'd feel, but I'd just like, I'd be done. Because it's like it's kind of like our equivalent to Michelin 3-star. That's the pinnacle. Like, if you get second place next year at the biggest barbecue event in the world, one of them, you're not even where you were at ever before. And like to repeat is like impossible. So yeah, I think that's where we would kind of like be able to relate to that on a personal level is, pit masters just all of a sudden getting surpassed that were just dominating the scene. Then these new techniques, new seasonings, new strategies, new smokers, new heating elements, new kinds of wood combinations, injections. I mean, it's just, that would probably be, I think if I ever got to the 3-star, man, I think I would just be like, that's it. Like you said, the pinnacle. You accept that you accept that you hit your mark.
Right. And I think, like, if you got the 3 stars, we'll do our best to retain them. If we can do it, let's do it. But if not,
we made it.
We're still awesome, right? We still did it.
So
that's it.
So I'm sorry to cut you off, Chef. I'm sorry.
No.
In saying that though, so say if you reach the 3-star, does it ever come back down? Do you ever lose a star?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Every year you are certified again.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a time where somebody's, a restaurant or a chef has had 3 stars, and then they've said, you know what, horrible experience, no stars, or down to 1. I think usually it's 1. And I'll go back to some of the restaurants in Chicago, and it's fine with me if some of these chefs see this, but am I okay to name names of restaurants?
Hell yeah, you are, brother.
Places where I've
been. So I'll give you the shovel if you want, dude. I ain't scared.
All right. So Grant Achatz, we all know Grant Achatz is. He started Alinea in Chicago, 3 Michelin star. He's the chef who developed, throat cancer, tongue cancer from, we all believe, from those, those components, those chemicals that he uses to create that molecular type food.
Right.
Yeah, that molecular gastronomy. And incredible chef, worked at El Bulli with Fran Adria, worked with Thomas Keller, worked with Charlie Trotter. I mean, just worked with a ton of people. And so opened up Alinea, which has retained its 3 Michelin stars. First, I believe the first year it got 2, skipped the 1 when Michelin came, and went right to 3, and he's retained his 3 stars all the way through. It's not food, it's a canapé party, more or less. It's tepid food. It's not hot. It's not proper cooking, but the whimsical technique he uses, where Curtis Duffy, who I touched on last time with Ever, that restaurant Ever I was talking about last time, that's where he learned all that stuff. So anyway, so Grant Achatz, 3 stars, Alinea. He opened up a restaurant called Next. Super cool place. Google it, check it out. Every 2 months, 3 months, decor, dining room stays the same, but the menu changes. So it'll be, like this menu is hits of Bobby Flay. So they cook Bobby's Flay's food. Then they'll go to Paris 1920. and cook Parisian food from 1920. The new menu they're going to do is remembering Charlie Trotter. So they're going to do all of Charlie Trotter's food. So the menu rotates on a consistent basis. So it's not just the food, it's themed, which is super cool. They started at a 2-star, and we went when it was a 2-star. It was one of the most horrible experiences ever. It's almost communal seating. So we're touching on all the stuff that Michelin seems to want to see.
Allegedly,
The
right?
ambiance was horrible. It was eating at a communal thing, with banquette seating. So I mean, if there was a 4-top, they'd probably push two tops together. We were sitting next to another 2-top. We were in a corner booth or corner kind of a thing, almost diner style, but more, of course, more elegant. Very interesting. But snobby staff, rude, rushed us. The food was horrible. It was really bad. And this is a 2-star Michelin where I'm kind of looking at the stuff like it's oversalted, acid crazy. It was really nasty. It was really bad. And we walked out. I was like, what the fuck? How can you have a 3-star Michelin consistent like this and then open up another restaurant that's 2 where it's like it wasn't even the same chef. And I looked at who I was eating with, and I just said, they need a star removed immediately, at least one. If not anything, there is something underneath called a Bib Gourmand award, which if you don't have 1 star, you can get a Bib Gourmand, which is sort of Michelin just saying, we see you. You're not quite at that 1 star, but we see you. And that's a cool honor.
100%.
Maybe one of those would have been, but not 1, not 2 stars at this next restaurant. Sorry, Grant. I just had a horrible experience. It was really bad. Really bad. So there's one in Chicago.
You shouldn't have
there we go.
Have a bad experience. It's also supposed to be an extension of the chef's personality, right?
Right.
Did I get glitched out halfway through that?
You did.
Yeah.
Actually, not halfway through, right at the beginning, but we got what you were saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's another part. There's another part of the Michelin star. You can get a green star.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. We didn't touch on that. So that's if you're, being, sustainable with your practices and with your cooking methods.
Right.
Trying to buy, actively buying foodstuffs from farms that are also practicing those measures of being sustainable and all of that stuff, possibly being organic as well. And I actually, yeah. So, I mean, so there's where that green star kind of comes into play too, which is interesting. I think California, you'd probably, at least in the States, you'd see that more than any other state, of course, in the States. And then, in Europe, farming methods are night and day compared to the States.
Everything is different. I mean, if you just look at a bag of Lay's potato chips and the ingredient list versus the States versus Europe. Look, I'm not making any of this up. This is a conspiracy, nothing. This is, you can go on TikTok and watch regular people, just like you and me, show you the difference. Right. It's 9 days. So,
I've done, I did that I did that blind taste test on Kerry's Gold, one from Dublin, actual Dublin, and one from the States. And I could tell off the rip that the one from Dublin had way more flavor. It had multiple stages of flavor distribution, where the Kerry Gold United States was just up front. That was it. Didn't change from that. And I can
it's just it's ruthless. Like it's really so the green star, cool. I'm glad they did it. They implemented it. Makes sense. Especially if we're just trying to preserve our planet, or at least, farm in more sustainable methods, possibly yielding more profit for the farmer as well, not having to use so much stuff, and, whether it's solar or whatever they're doing to really, to really tighten that stuff up. And that's great. But so that would be in addition to the stars for cuisine. It wouldn't just be, you could also be certified 1, 2, or 3 and also have a green star for that particular, Michelin recognition for being sustainable, which is nice. It's cool. I agree. It's not,
it's like kissing your sister. It's cool.
Right. It's not practical for everybody, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Some.
Oh man, here we go. Kissing
Yeah.
Here we
cousins
go.
all
All
over.
right. Commercial break.
Totally different shows. Totally different shows.
Yeah, we'll take our commercial
Now
break.
back to our sponsors.
Yeah, that's
Right,
where we
right.
go from there. We do have a commercial break we are going to take though, and so we'll take that. We'll be right back to wrap up this awesome conversation that's still developing right here on Another Foodie Show. Look at me just taking over.
I was you just took over.
All right.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Jeez, Johnson, how's that happen?
Prince of the
Commercial break.
Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what's in here?
I don't care.
bullshit shenanigans to get everything going on this Saturday night. Nope.
Bro, there
Not
is absolutely there is not ever one time
No.
been
We-
us bamboozling you into
No.
anything.
It's all
I
$20.
wish I was
Opening his
obsessed
mouth,
with
telling the
receipts
truth.
as you guys are. That's what I wish. I wish I had time to collect all these receipts you guys do. I'd have
It's
a scroll of scrolls.
One of the ladies starts talking to me about wine and how she's gonna open this like wine bar, and I was like, "Cool, like, do you need charcuterie?"
You got to
boards? I
wine
make that.
before you're 69, man. That's swingers rule.
Well, I don't know these.
Dang,
rules.
you know a lot.
Yeah,
huh? So-
I don't know.
there's-
Yeah.
there's
Wine and dine.
dude,
Remember the
there's
old
a-
saying, "Wine and dine before you're 69."
Not even one time.
That should be on
All
a
right.
T-shirt, though.
And we move on. Continue.
Well, how are you going to say no to that mustache?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to go for a
I
ride.
used to be able to like
Big
curl
time.
it.
Oh,
boy, yes.
Hey,
yes.
Uncle John's Copper John,
Oh,
Uncle John,
here we go.
Copper John's mustache back. There you go.
And she doesn't approve, so
Oh, I walk around the house butt naked. I mean, I don't think that's a big secret. I mean, you guys don't do naked walks in your house.
You was not that way when we were there, sir. No, sir. Don't put
Well,
any
I mean,
on.
yeah. I didn't want. I feel insecure around Johnsy's balls, man. I was definitely covering up. So, he's got them big old milk jugs, and I was like, I ain't trying to fuck with that.
oh,
Roach, Johnsy's got big balls. You heard it here first.
That's weird.
Yep.
we went so long, Damon.
So yeah, that was my last adventure, and that was
Oh.
Allegedly, we have not seen them. We do not ask to see them. We do not want to see them.
I don't even ask for you to talk about
I can't keep up anymore.
Me neither. It's like I feel like it's a pissing contest.
Well, see, I'm not trying to do nothing about none of that. Whatever. This no contest. No.
No.
How much rain did you get then, Damon? I didn't ask. Since you
So if
Yeah,
I
you were putting out some crazy numbers.
Yeah,
12
they-
inches. Trust me, I don't know anything
tell
about
you.
12 inches. I mean,
Oh my gosh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. So
I'm
just
glad
like
the
a kissing,
commercials
folks.
have become like the Tony's, like everything he says, and that's funny.
Well,
and we
what's
done
funny-
told you. We done told you that.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
you know what? Hey,
There's no
if
mystery
you guys
here.
would develop a better personality, maybe we could use some of your clips in the commercial.
No, if
Boom.
no, it ain't not got to do no with
A bunch
personality.
of Michelin one-star
Dollars
commercial
just
makers.
start puking the
Hey,
truth
you'll never be-
sometimes.
You'll never be 3 stars.
Look,
They're at
Here's
mentality.
the deal. Just like a kitchen, it's nothing but dick and balls. That's what's ridiculous. It's like you know what you're doing, Tony.
I remember my first restaurant job. It was when that movie Waiting came out, and the peanut showing game was very well played at that restaurant.
Oh, boy.
These poor waitresses.
So,
they get
Worked
that.
in a restaurant years before that movie came out. Never once saw any of that shenanigans going down.
Never seen.
And no,
any
we
of
didn't
that.
either until the movie came out. Then everyone's like, "Yeah, we fit that mold good enough. Let's just incorporate it."
So hit the goat and the brain and the
Oh yeah, the army tank. That was a good one.
army tank. Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
we
That
looked
was
up-
not in the movie.
We won't go
That
into
was
we
not
won't
in
go
the
into-
movie.
No,
That
not
was
right
not in
now.
the movie.
Not right now. Not right
Not
now.
even in the
Oh,
movie.
That was not in the
Hey,
movie.
hey, Stop
we invented
it.
that one. It was pretty similar. We made our own. It was worth 2 kicks. It was worth 2 kicks.
We're done. We're done because we have an actual professional with us tonight,
Yeah.
gentlemen. We're gonna act.
No. Let me.
He sees that. Yeah, he.
No,
sees that.
I thoroughly enjoy this.
No,
This was fantastic.
Well, here's what we
He
got.
knows
Before we
his
get too
staff-
far off,
His staff
before we
has
get
got
too
caught
far
doing
off,
it.
before we get too far off, we got a question from the audience. He says, "I bet Chef has a few hidden recipes that he's been waiting to pull the trigger on. Can he give us any prequel to what you're gonna have?"
Ooh.
Good question, Robert Race.
Interesting. So recipes that I'm working on for the restaurant, or for just some dishes that I'm currently working on.
That's your prerogative,
That's
sir.
That's your
prerogative.
Hey, he asked the question. It's your answer. I mean,
okay. So while I was thinking of this whole Michelin thing, I was like, okay, what kind of dishes would I do? I'm thinking first, second, third kind of dishes or courses. And I'm really into crudos, so raw fish kind of dishes to start, because I think that really just kind of opens your palate up, with good acid and maybe some fat with olive oils, different things. So I wanted to do sort of like a mosaic where you take a piece of bluefin tuna and pound it out to like a circle, and then maybe either swordfish or mackerel, pound that out so the circle's a little smaller, and then have just a very lightly cold smoked, like either probably like a U8 or a U6 scallop, kind of sitting right in the center of that. And probably some herbs. Maybe it's like lemon verbena, or maybe it's like a little bit of, and we could also smoke it. So we were talking about smoking. So you could put a smoke dome on top and do maybe a little bit of lavender or rosemary smoke in there. We could do some finishing salt, some different peppers. But with that, it's like lemon and olive oil. Really just simple stuff.
Right.
But with that smoke, and then lift the dome, and you get the stuff. So there's that. I mean, so there's just things just to kind of, again, simple execution, simple, but the more you do to food, the less, the more you take away. So treating the food simply, buying the best product you can. And I think that's where a lot of restaurants go wrong with the whole Michelin game. It's too much. It's too much. Let the product that you buy speak for itself. Let Mother Nature be the true artist. You're just the cook. That's it. That's it.
I've said that a long time. Let your meat speak for itself.
Right.
That's it.
Let Mother Nature speak.
I always said, don't let your meat loaf, but same thing.
That's it.
Yep.
That's really it. But yeah, I work on stuff all the time, and just, I see something, and that's why we all go out to eat, or at least I'm assuming that's why you guys would go out to a restaurant too. It's just to see what people are doing. How can that affect the way that I cook, the way that I see food? Of course, I love a night out, taking some time off to go and be, served, because that's all, what I do for a living. So it feels good to be,
right. It's nice
it's
to
more
be catered to for a change. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice. But just to see what people are doing, and just, it's fun. It's awesome. I love it. But yeah, I think of new stuff all the time. So yeah, we'll do some cooking on the show if you'll have me again. We'll throw down some
we would have no interest in having you back ever again.
Yeah.
Ever. This is a terrible time. I'm having such so glad for this show to be over.
You can
but
be
no, I'm
on
joking,
here,
man. No, we love you, man. We hope this is
us.
seriously, man. We hope this is the start of a lot of stuff coming up for sure.
You just let me know what you need, and I'm here
right now. I'll make an announcement right now. We have our Dude Network.
Hold on. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, we got our Dude Network meetup for our 2024 meetup at the American Royal in Kansas City Motor Speedway, and our next meetup we'll shoot for the springtime. We're going to do a Dudes Takeover Chicago food tour, and that's going to be our next meetup. We're going to come out. We're just going to, with Chef Ben, with our other friend Anthony Margarina. We got a hell of a network out there, Ultimate Foodie Capital. Awesome. So we're going to do it. I'm telling you, springtime, when it gets not atrocious weather conditions, when we get some time, we're going to make it happen. What's nice about Chicago is everybody can direct flight right there, so the commute there will be. I'll probably just drive. No, I probably won't. It's only like a 2 hour and a half.
Yeah, I
flight.
won't. Not at no 13 hours.
Oh,
I can take
here
that
we
from
go.
Canton Akron Airport. Yeah, homie ain't driving. And big breaking news, not driving. So
You heard it
no,
here
I'm
first.
telling you, it's happening, Chef. So we got to keep this going, man, because we have.
Oh, that's
big
exciting.
plans. We have an exciting.
That's
Hey, man,
exciting.
you're giving us an amazing opportunity, and
So
we
yeah,
are big believers in not pissing those away, and we want to take advantage of it and just live vicariously through you and Tapas Del Lago and apparently this new adventure. That'd be fun. And yeah, man, I'm excited. We're all really excited. Ever since this relationship first happened, we've been all in on it. So it's official.
Thank you.
Let's make it
Well,
happen.
it's
We're
my
inviting
pleasure. Whatever
ourselves.
you need, you let me know. Whenever you want me on, I'm here.
right.
So-
So
Yeah, if you want to
there-
line up
there-
some
there will
restaurants and
be-
some other
hey,
chef
bup,
friends
bup,
of yours
bup,
that
bup,
would let
there
us
will
take
be-
over.
Look,
you know,
when we get off live, we'll talk a little business. Sorry, folks in the chat, you don't get to know everything right off the rip. That's the way it works in showbiz. But yeah, we'll have a little business meeting and we'll hang out. So let's get down to the brass tacks because there's a lot of good places to eat out there. Is it worth it for a star or 2 or 3? Is it worth it, or can you just make it as a good restaurant? And where do you make that decision where you're like, I'm going for it, or you know what, I got really good business, it doesn't matter to me? Like where do you make that determination as a chef, as a restaurant owner, whatever it may be? How do you go, you know what, I'm going to take it to the next level and keep going, or this is just good enough?
It's a phenomenal question. And it's
heard it
actually a
here
question
first.
I asked
Phenomenal.
myself. It's a phenomenal question. I mean, I think not only myself, but I think probably the majority of chefs and restaurant owners, restaurateurs ask themselves. I mean, just probably it's probably the last thing they think about before they go to sleep. What do I want to do? And I'm not going to try and turn this into a 30-minute answer. I probably could. But to answer your question in 2 parts, one, the answer is yes. You can have both, and you can operate both. You can do both.
Right.
Does it need to be Michelin starred to be good? Absolutely not. I think probably one of my favorite restaurants, and we talked about this last time, is a restaurant in San Diego called Urban Wood. They don't have a Michelin star, but it's right on the ocean. The service is flawless. The wine pours are huge. The food is executed flawlessly. Granted, I was on a ton of edibles, which made it even more exciting. However,
that'll
it was
happen.
phenomenal.
Hate to hear it.
Yeah, no, it was phenomenal. And I most likely to enjoy the same experience there again. I would not eat there without the edibles. But without them, it would probably be just as great.
Right.
But Urban Wood, and they also have, and I think the chef also has 2 other restaurants in San Diego also. But phenomenal. Does not have a Michelin star, not Bib Gourmand. Just a phenomenal place. And there's thousands of restaurants like that across the world.
Right.
And I mean, I believe Tapas Del Lago is a phenomenal place. Are we going to get a Michelin star? Never. It's not that type of place, and I don't want that for that place. It's not that type of place. It's the food is it's countrified. We're not trying to get a Michelin star. The service is great. The food is awesome. But I know for a fact it probably would not be Michelin's cup of tea. Now, if they gave us one, I wouldn't say no. But that's not our goal. Our goal is to put out the best product we can every day, consistently, at a price point that everybody can afford, to come 2, 3, 4 times a week. And that's it. And the problem with Michelin starred restaurants is 95% of them are not approachable for it's a special occasion.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a shitload of money. And it's getting higher and higher and higher as we go. I don't know everybody's political affiliations. We don't need to go there, but
I looked at the
I hope
list
it changes
in
soon.
California. There is an insane within like a 2-hour drive and beyond from me, Michelin star restaurants. It is insane how many are here. And I looked at the menus. Would I like to eat the food? Yeah. Would I ever like to pay for the food? No.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so yeah, it's tough.
Almost like
And then
what's the
so you
point?
have sorry,
It's almost like what's the point? If you're trying to reach
kind of.
everybody,
I mean, if you're doing well and you're making good money and your business
Right.
is running efficiently and you're happy and you don't want that pressure, because to take that other road and go down that Michelin path, your staffing increases by 60%. Your consumption of food, your food cost probably goes up by another 20%. Now, your margins are there because you're cooking food that's this big and
Right.
putting it on people's plates.
right.
God,
It's
I
all
couldn't
in the
do it.
labor.
No way.
Fine dining restaurants, the biggest cost is labor. Whereas a steakhouse or something where is obvious it's going to be your food cost, probably labor as well, because a steakhouse you want good service, but steaks and meat and all that high end product is expensive.
Right.
Fine dining, high end product is expensive for sure, but you have to have flawless service. And at each table, you have your own server, you have a back server, and you have 12 to 16 people in your kitchen that are following you. And if 4 people leave because they're not involved or they're not trained properly, it's a horribly expensive road to go down as Michelin. So, I mean, it's a completely different journey. It's normal restaurant. You have your labor cost needs to be under 25%. Your food cost should probably be between 20 and 30. If you can hit it at 20, great. Steakhouses are probably at 40, and then you got all the other crap and your margins are probably in the 15, 20%. You're doing okay. With fine dining, you're charging $400 a head before wine, before beverage.
Right.
For 2 people at ever, it's $1,200. I mean,
Like
so
car payment.
you're paying
Right, dude.
a
No,
lot
no,
of money,
no
but
joke. Like
Oh,
there's a
for a guy that
there's a
shops for
famous-
$10, that's a tough pill to swallow,
There's
man.
There's a famous restaurant here to order their risotto. Just the risotto is $150.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Like
For mushy rice? I'm joking.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
got-
risotto's
yeah.
good, but for 150,
yeah.
it better be.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
best
and you
I've
go
ever
to
eaten
some
in
of
my
those
life.
restaurants and all those high, those steakhouses, in the major cities that have those names. They're, like you said, they're charging risotto that's $150. Now, unless they're shaving Alba white truffles that are $3,500 a pound, and they're
Right.
giving you a gram or two, or per.
Which the
on
one
the
I'm
plate.
talking about does have white truffles, so it's a little more legit.
Maybe.
But still, unless you're a huge truffle person, is that worth it to you? No. Because I can go to my really, really good Italian restaurant that serves a damn decent
I've never had
risotto
truffles in my
for-
life.
It's included in the meal, basically.
And you know what the interesting part is too? Is oftentimes you go to these restaurants and the higher the prices, the shittier the food.
And the smaller the portions.
And the smaller the portions. Now,
Give me a
that's
dive
some
bar
restaurants.
with 50-cent
Professional,
wings
thank
that make
you.
them decent, and that's your treasure. That's your treasure.
I could make a truffle risotto. Let's break it down, right? So it's $150. Let's say that their truffle risotto is $150. For all 4 of us, I could make one normal portion size risotto, truffle, probably, whether or not you're making the puree of the chanterelles and the lobsters and the black truffle in there, or you're just buying it in a can, which you can get, right? In the can, I think of the truffle puree and the mushrooms, I think you could probably get at your local grocery store for $15 or $20. Maybe it's an 6-ounce can, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 6, I don't know. You could use water as your stock, normal rice, your arborio rice, some butter, little pecorino cheese, maybe some mascarpone to make it a little creamy, but not too creamy, because you want it to be tight, but not too tight. You don't want it to be loose where it's going too loose. You want it to sit nicely on the plate, and you fold in that truffle puree. Now, we could get a frozen truffle that's been frozen, obviously from Perigord, the black truffles. If you want an Alba white truffle, you'll pay for it, so that's optional. But we could probably make a truffle dish on another show, $25. Now, if you put one of those plates in a steakhouse, There you go. 80 to 150 bucks
Right.
just for one of those plates. Granted, it's a restaurant. Again, you're paying for service. They have a business to run.
Absolutely.
But the markup of that
Paying for the
stuff, that
quality,
easy product.
experience, convenience. Yep.
Yeah. And that's a moneymaker for a restaurant as a risotto. Huge moneymaker because rice is pennies.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that's what I would. I mean, yeah, that and like potatoes. Like I'd have so many potato recipes, man. Like, yeah, get like them big old russets. Damon, where are you at on all this, man? Dude, for people like you and me. I mean, we didn't really grow up even really around any big market,
No.
restaurant like cities and stuff. Like, hell, man, son of a dairy farm, I grew up. Pizza Hut was a big deal for us. That was a fancy
The sit
restaurant.
down restaurant Pizza Hut now, not the Pizza Hut
Yeah.
it is now.
Stuffed crust.
Yeah,
Stuffed
old
crust.
school,
Yeah,
like
the old
like when you
buffet
read
style Pizza Hut.
the old book it, book
Yeah.
it. Where you got there for perfect attendance and you
Where it
read
was,
on-
where it was free if you didn't get it in 30 minutes.
No, but I mean, I'm like you when you said it in the beginning. I'm with you, Tony. I was like, we're coming in this. I'm willing to learn this because I didn't know much about it, and to me,
Yeah.
that's a lot that goes down with it. It's a
Is
lot.
anyone
I mean, the
what's funny-
question I was writing down, they've already been answered, so there's no reason they're going back.
What's funny is how Michelin started is these two brothers started a tire company,
Hmm.
and they literally found these restaurants way out that had good food and would make that would get all this hype in their Michelin guide so that you would have to wear your tires out more so you would spend more money on tires.
Hmm.
That's literally exactly how it started. From yes, I'm paraphrasing, but that's literally from the Michelin website. I have pages pulled up from the Michelin itself website, and they talk about it. And it all started in over in Europe, and in all the research I've done, I just can't disagree with Chef. I feel over here it's a little bit different than it is over there. Yes, it did start with them wanting you to drive to these far exotic destinations to get these really good foods. Not that they weren't, but you were wearing your tires out more, so you'd have to buy tires.
Yes.
But it created a thing that turned into something really awesome. Like if you were good enough to travel to, that meant something. And it became based off of things. Why are you good enough to travel to? And I feel like over here, as with everything, it's about who you know, this and that. Yes, look, I'm not saying there aren't people
It's
who
not
have
what you know, it's who you blow.
Exactly. Like, look, we all know it happens. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But
It is what it is.
not saying that there aren't people who have them that 100,000% deserve them. Of course there are. Of course there are. But, AC/DC said it best. Come on, love it for the money. Come on,
And see,
come on, listen to the money talk.
I thought we was gonna get a show with 0 songs sang.
Negative,
But
bro.
he's back in
Otherwise.
black.
Oh, here we go. Chef, you got a song you want to sing too?
TNT. Boy,
You want me to sing? I'm a musician in my spare time.
what do you
Oh,
want?
here we
What do you
go.
want? You want to do some ABBA?
Me too.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm
I
not.
play guitar.
I do
Yeah,
too.
my
Yeah.
first instrument
I
was the
have one.
trumpet.
I can play Outcast Hey Ya on the acoustic. That's my thing.
I love it. Yeah, I'm an acoustic player, singer, songwriter. Been doing that for 20 years.
My man, we
Awesome.
Well,
become
John's
best
is going to
friends.
move in. You got a loft up there. Yeah, John's might make a pit stop in Chicago.
Yeah, guitars are my second love. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, hey, yeah, that's awesome, man.
I think we got a good base on this whole Michelin understanding for the regular people.
So
that
right.
didn't really
Well,
understand it going
okay.
into this.
Okay, being regular people as you put it yourself, not knowing nothing, Damon, Tony, what's your
Yes.
take on it now? Are you working
I-
for Michelin, or are you like, yeah, it is what it
Oh
is?
no, there's absolutely zero. No. I thought about it. I don't know, man. The recipes and ingredients intimidate the absolute shit out of me. If there's a way I can be, my challenge would be to be a Michelin star restaurant with the most basic, simplest recipes of all time.
Dude,
Like,
100% attainable.
and that's like the theme.
No,
like,
100% attainable. That's the thing.
Yeah,
It is.
like, I mean, regular people stuff. Like, what I grew up on. Like you said, extension to me, like, I grew up with, like, ground burger. That's what we did, 6 days a week. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't think that there's a Michelin star program for people like me. But, I
Don't
see
give
why
up on the
people
dream.
do it. Okay, I see why people do it. It's not for me. I would never put myself through it. I would look at my Yelp reviews if I'm like, 3,
Oh,
4,
Yelp.
5, 6,
Oh.
7,000, and like, but
Don't
like,
ever look
overall,
at
like,
Yelp.
even with all the bullshit of all
horrible.
the people that just suck at life, if I still had like a 4+ out of 5 out of that, I would be like, all right, man, that's cool.
You
Yeah, I don't
cannot
know.
listen to what Yelp says because the best
Oh,
restaurants that
terrible.
I go to in town, for every amazing comment they have, there is 4 horrible reviews. And I'm like, these people are idiots.
I definitely see.
They probably had like one tiny thing wrong, and they just decided to oh, the dish was this, oh, this, and then it started to sound like a food critic. Get the frick out of here, Tom.
Yeah.
Like,
I would-
everybody knows you work at the liquor store around the corner. Like, get out of here.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to take it
Get outta
serious
here.
enough to really, like, if I ever got one, like, I would just like downplay it, and then everyone would hate me, because I'd be like, it's like, yeah, oh my God.
Or would that help propel you to your second one because
No.
you're so humble about it?
Yeah, it'd be a consistent, like, yeah, tater tots casserole. There you go, made tater tots myself.
That's definitely not winning the Michelin. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not.
What if I put some little rosemary and some
I don't
thyme
know.
inside the
Look,
tater tots, and we deep fried them in
see,
some?
Do that you could take the tater tots and compress them, and then bake them like that, and then just take a round cutter, round it out, maybe freeze it, wrap it in plastic, roll it out in clarified butter, grate some truffle on top. There's tons of stuff
now
you can
it's
do.
a $200 dish.
That was
Shit.
That went from
I was just gonna put
$10
some,
meal to a $200 meal.
I'm just saying.
I was gonna put some sweet heat on it, but yeah, your way sounds a lot better, actually.
So Damon, you're up next. What do you think?
Yeah,
about
Damon, that's my way too
being
long
a
of an answer.
Three-time people's champ, wings, beans going chili, all that good stuff. Purveyor of Carolina Gold and downtown funky brown sauce. What's your take?
Why do I need it if the people speak for itself and I get the repeat customers over and over and over? You
don't.
And you don't get you don't hear negative come out of their mouth. Everything that comes out of their mouth is nothing but positive. Why do I need a star to tell me that my food's good?
Yeah. That's it. You don't.
Especially barbecue.
But what if that star was giving you that much more publicity and money or whatever?
I'm good because
that's a true cook right there.
The loyal people is going to be loyal.
Bingo.
Yeah. I've watched people take a bite of my barbecue sandwich and just hang their head, and I'm just like, that's like Michelin 8-star.
You're welcome.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm just like, thank you. Like, thank you. Yeah, man, watching people just take a bite of that brisket, and they come up like 2 seconds later, like, yo, can I get another one of those sandwiches?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you may.
I was about to say the same thing because, it's just like, comp-wise, we're sitting there, and, yeah, we didn't win the comp, but after the comp's over, people still come around and eat. And they come up and they're like, oh, this is what, such and such should taste like. Not that down the street that won. Yours should have won. It's stuff like that.
That means more than an award.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Right.
That's why I say, the people that love it and the people that come back to your restaurants or whatever, that's what makes it to me, that's what makes it for me.
Right.
For sure. And I think it's the trajectory that where you want to go. I mean, if and it's also being in that fine dining area. I mean, if you want to cook fine dining, it's not for everybody. It's a horribly, weirdly submissive and like I don't know. It really messes with you going down that fine dining sector of cooking because it no longer is cooking. It's cooking things like what Marco said. Just because you have 3 Michelin stars, it doesn't mean you know how to cook. It just means you understand the system. And at that point, you're just running a business. You're not cooking because you love to cook. You're cooking to retain those 3 stars, and it becomes a factory rather than the original reason why you started cooking in the first place was because you love it.
That's right.
So you almost,
Original, right? Right. Because let's face it.
Damon, I agree with you entirely. You don't need it at all.
No.
Right, because
Yeah.
let's face it, when you first start out in the restaurant world, you make this much money.
Yeah.
You literally, if you're lucky, pay all the bills on time.
Yeah.
But like, I see why
even in a regular town, if you are the top chef at one of the best restaurants in a regular town, you're probably still just paying your bills.
Right. Yeah.
With a little bit on the side to take your wife out, go somewhere with the kids. That's it.
I commend Chef Ben. It's like, what's the percentage of brick and mortar restaurants failing? Like 70%? Isn't like some crazy number?
It's probably, yeah. I mean, it's probably higher. I mean, it's probably 80. But
right,
like,
dude, in the first year, brick and mortar make no money.
I see what
there is zero profit.
Dude, it's so scary. It's so scary.
Why? Why is that, man? These are the places.
Well, I think it's because one, I think the people that make it, at least, it's a couple things. If you've been in the game a long time, and maybe you failed a few times, which is obviously better, than not. Because if this is your first runner up, and you're ready to go, and you haven't failed, and you haven't felt a cold winter in Chicago, you don't know how to survive in your restaurant, or whichever, wherever you're at in the States. You're gonna feel it. That first time is just any business, but more importantly, a restaurant. It's rough. It's really rough. And if you haven't run a restaurant before, but it sounds super cool to own a restaurant and be in there and do it, and you haven't run a business yet own a restaurant before, there's kitchen nightmares for you. That's why Ramsey has a show. Whereas some of us who have failed in the past,
overrated,
who have run restaurants before, who have been in it for 20, 25 years, we know how to set the margins up. I'm not going to say, we're not making 20 million a year out of our 2,000 square foot space. But when I opened up Tapas del Lago, this super awesome place that we have, I knew that we'd make money because I set it up for success because of the failures in the past and because of all the things I've done. You have to be able to build on that and then build your business on that. So our margins are awesome. So the first year, luckily, and knock on wood, we did make a profit. We did make money. But if I would have done this for my first restaurant, I wouldn't have. Because you kind of live through your fail. You live through it as you go, and you with age gains wisdom, I guess. But you just, it just. Yeah, fuck.
That's the way they explain it, right?
Yeah.
No, with any business, but restaurants. I mean, it's tough, but you gotta love it. I mean, and if you love it, it's not really work per se. But I mean, you got to grind no matter what.
Right.
But it's tough when you see those people that fail that first year. You feel for them, but you kind of know it's kind of like, well.
You go into it first time, you're like, man, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough because like sometimes you go in there and you're like trying to support and you're like, like, do I put my eggs in this basket? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tough. You do what you can. You do what you can. Like we're all at the end of the day, it's all a community. Everybody wants every restaurant to succeed.
Yes.
I mean,
but do we? Let's be honest. Do we want every?
Well,
No,
I'm
we
not
don't.
saying I want them to be
No.
good. I want every
No,
restaurant
yeah,
to be
exactly.
perfect.
Trust me.
It's still a community.
Like there's places here in town that when you read the title and see the names on the menu, you're like, yeah, this sounds like my kind of place. You go there, you see the portions and what it looks like, and you're like, wow, definitely not living up to expectation.
Right.
And then you taste it and you're like, it's not terrible. Like I'm not
Right.
gonna
What is this going to be in next year?
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like and that's the bottom line. Like there's plenty of restaurants in town. Look, I'm Italian. I make my own pasta. I cure my own Italian meats. Like I'm really into that part of the foodie world.
Mhm.
And there's two in town I eat at. Two. Because the rest of them we call Fugazi Italian.
Yeah.
And there's one that my wife loves because she loves the soup one of the soups they offer, and I go there because happy wife, happy life. But other than that, I go to two because one was opened up by a Sicilian couple that ran it for years until they moved back to Sicily and sold it to one of the guys who worked for them for like 15 years. So it's the exact same menu. And the other one, basically the same kind of deal, just not as long, but it's as authentic as I can get here. And it's damn authentic and it's damn good, man. So why am I going to go elsewhere? And that's the thing. It's like Damon's talking about. He makes, these wings, these chili. Maybe he didn't win because the judge panel, whatever. That's why I'm not a comp guy, because I know I cook good food. Because my brother-in-law, who is around guys I look up to in barbecue, like those are his friends, when he takes a bite of my brisket and closes his eyes and does like the bend back like that, when he doesn't know I'm looking, like I'm like, there it is. Okay, I'm good enough. That's all I needed right there. I passed the test. Like, what do you need more than that?
Right.
I don't care. Look, I don't care if I ever win a cooking comp show, nothing. If I ever get invited to anything, if I can watch people enjoy my food,
that's the biggest thing.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Well, everybody,
when they can walk up and they say and they take a bite of it and they look at you and be like, "That's it right there."
Yeah,
right?
That's it. That's that shit. That's that shit.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, guys, about right at that 90-minute mark, I think.
Right.
Hey, we got Chef Ben. We're not done with you yet, man. Like, you're not.
Oh, it's
this
fine.
isn't the last show.
I'm here.
But this isn't the last show. I mean, this is a first of 368 part series that we got you on here. So, yeah.
There you go.
Seriously, man, just
That's a lot of Sundays.
I was about to say, that's a lot of
that is.
Sundays.
Or just be able to let us have access to your brain and to pick at it, man. It's opening my eyes up to a world I've always wondered about, but didn't really know about other than from the outside. So it's been really cool, man. I just appreciate you just, rolling out the red carpet for us to just take in this world that we're not really acquainted to all that much and just opening it up to us, man. It's been an absolute blast to learn about it. So thank you for
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for letting me blabber on about God knows what I was talking about. So
yeah, because that's
what
the
makes us.
thing.
That's what makes this a good
No
show.
hold barred here.
We never know. We never know. We just send it. We blow the carbon out. Drink some beers. Drink some wine. Drink whatever.
yeah, I saw somebody asked Montepulciano di Abruzzo. That's what I'm drinking tonight.
Was that what you were drinking the other night too?
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, so every time that I'm out, I'm gonna drink a bottle of wine. So it's empty now. So so last time it was the Reserva, the Spanish Reserva. Tonight was a little Montepulciano di Abruzzo, which is my go-to red because it's just easy drinking good stuff. So
I can't wait to. You guys ever want some good Italian? We need to go out to Central Pennsylvania.
All right.
I said it last time. I know a place in Hershey, Pennsylvania called Fabio's.
This is also coming from a country farmer boy from Ohio.
That's
right.
Okay, well, old potato farmer
who's never made fresh pasta.
Hey, Chef, I don't drive 40,000 miles a year across 5 different states and all their major cities every year either. So don't let Johnsy, but whatever Johnsy said is gospel. Don't mind.
Come
He
on.
knows me better than me. I don't know nothing.
That
Yeah,
was
that's the
the
problem.
first
Jonesy
time-
likes to talk for everybody else. So
Yeah,
it's
just
okay.
talk for everybody.
It
Yeah.
was the one
Hey,
time
Chef, maybe
I
one day
lived-
you can show me what real Italian is, since I've never had it in my life. Yeah, ever. Not even at a place
Well-
called Fabio's. That's BYOB, and you get all the
Fabio is
portions
not even an
and
Italian
cannolis
name.
with frittata, all of it.
It's focaccia number 1. So,
I would be honored. Although Chicago,
Frittata.
I will
Old
say, does have some good Italian. I would probably leave it to New York, Pennsylvania to have the best.
Oh,
Yeah, man. He
you
forgets that
Right.
like
For
all
sure.
the Italians
Maybe
came
Jersey
to
has
Italian.
Pennsylvania to
We have some
Cuomo.
good restaurants.
Well,
Jersey
all-
probably has
okay.
a couple good spots too, but
Okay,
Jersey,
so
New
where did the
York's
Italians
probably
come
king.
from that ended up in California, Pennsylvania, East Coast? They started east, went west. So older traditional
Actually, they
Italian
were
is on
sent
the
out
east
here
side
from New
of the
York.
country.
Actually, if you follow history, they were sent out from New York, not Pennsylvania, not Jersey, New York.
Okay, is
Yeah.
that not the East Coast? I didn't know we were talking about New York. Damon, did I
But
talk
not
about East Coast? Or
Pennsylvania.
I did.
That's why
I
I
just got-
said New York.
My last comment that you completely
Get
disregarded.
that man a
and
map.
ignored,
Get him
but
a
that's
map. Get him a
typical of
map.
you,
Get him a
John.
map.
Whatever. Don't listen to the things that actually hurt your argument. That's so selfish of you.
I
per
didn't
usual.
say anything about hurting.
We should
I
we
said
should all
the
go to
East
New York
Coast-
and Brooklyn and do a pizza tour. That's what we should do.
Yeah, I want to
Stop
go.
it.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Ooh.
I haven't been to Brooklyn. I want to go to Brooklyn and taste all this pizza,
Let's roll.
Right.
Tafara, and all that. All that stuff.
Hey,
hell yeah.
we can always
Apparently-
change up 2025 meetup.
Old Port. Hey, we're gonna. If we do one in the spring, that means we get to do another one in the fall. Just saying that out.
Bingo.
Okay.
We get the right sponsors. We can do 3 or 4 a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody
Hey,
knows
Tim,
anybody.
folks, tap in. Tap in.
Send us a
Look.
message.
Hey, look, everybody wants a part of this, folks. Everybody does. So the ones who tap in early are the ones who get the love forever. That's all I'm saying.
And remember, Pennsylvania
Garage
Italian
Beer.
food sucks.
Who? I didn't say that.
Whoa,
but I'm
whoa,
just
whoa.
Yeah,
saying.
you did. Hey,
whoa.
yeah. Yep. You heard it. Sorry, Pennsylvania. Try to stand up for you and your food, but it's fugazi.
I guarantee Michigan and places like that have the exact same level of Italian food as Pennsylvania.
I haven't had it. I've tried it out a lot, and I have yet to
I'm
try
just
it, but
telling you
whatever.
because I know,
In Michigan.
I know exactly where the Italians migrated to. That's
Just
my
because
family
Jimmy
heritage.
Hoffa ended
He's
up
got
missing
my
in
family.
Michigan does
He's
not
got
make
my family.
Michigan Italian, sir.
Right. And in Marquette,
My great
Marquette,
cousin
Michigan,
right
look me up.
Actually,
Marquette.
one
Yeah,
of the
that's the Yoopers up
Actually-
there, brother. That's a
actually
different
one of the
multi-
last guys.
whitefish up
actually,
there.
One of the
That's
last
it.
one of the last big players of the Genovese family got arrested up in Michigan, so I don't want to hear about it. Michigan
Okay,
has
I'm sorry.
Italians.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I didn't say nothing. I was just like you. You was just going on. I
I
couldn't
went
keep
to
wasn't
up.
looking at you.
I couldn't
I was
keep
looking-
up.
Philly.
I was
Dainty
looking at
lighting.
old Miss,
I went to
Mr.
order a
Cleveland up
beer.
there.
I went to order a beer, and they said, "Oh, sorry, it's BYOB here." And I was like, "I'm just cool with water."
Look, I
And
don't
they're like, "Oh my god, we
Michigan
didn't know." They're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Well, I'm from out of town. We don't do
either. No,
BYOB
I don't like
restaurants."
Minnesota.
That chef gave
Minnesota's the
us a
place I
bottle
don't
of vino, so we had a bottle of wine. He said it is almost offensive to eat my food without a bottle of wine. So he sent us out a bottle of wine and did not charge us for it.
That's a real Italian
nice.
right there. That's
Yeah,
an
it was
Italian
awesome.
right
North Philly. I forget the name of it. It was bad ass.
there. Hell yeah.
Chef, you
want
see what I
something
deal
like-
with him when these two get together? I mean, these two get together. It's just like I have to play like the middleman and just like separate.
But don't
them
worry
like the
about
rest of
Chef.
them
It
stuff.
sucked. It wasn't really real Italian food though. It was just they gave us a free bottle of wine. That was the perk of the place.
I just said, wow, that's a real Italian place right there. I just said it.
Yeah.
We
Back
are.
up.
Conceded.
Because you already know
Well,
you done effed up, AA Ron.
Y'all like a married couple, boy. Good lord, y'all like a married couple.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
going
We'll
back and
see
forth.
everybody.
Somebody's got to have
Thursday,
the
late
last
night
word. Who's got the
parlay.
last word? You know who's got the last word? Chef's got the last word.
Yeah,
Chef, tell
Chef.
us about it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Send us out.
Ben, tell everybody about yourself, where they can find you, what you got going on, all the good stuff. This is your time. We're rolling out the red carpet.
Oh, geez. For me, well, we're trying to expand Tapas Stawago. So our first location's in Highwood, Illinois. which is about 10 minutes north of Highland Park. And then we're also doing North Shore Private Chefs. And don't worry about it, Johnsy. I know. So it's North Shore Private Chefs, and we do private dinner parties. We do weddings. We do, it's a full-fledged catering company, but our bread and butter is really honing in those private, personal, intimate dinner parties.
Right. Hell yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 12 people, 4 to 12 courses, wine pairings. And that's what we love to do. And then we'll touch on that Michelin star restaurant, coming up soon. So that's in the works.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. Stay
Right.
tuned.
See you.
Ben,
see you next
don't leave
time.
us too soon. We're gonna talk to you for a minute after this. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us all night. Ben, again, chef, always.
Oh, thank you guys. Johnsy, Tony, and Damon. I appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Don't forget, Thursday night, late night parlay. Yes, last week was a rough one. But if you have been tuning in, that was the first one in, I don't know, since inception, maybe.
Only
Close to
Bret
it.
Hart got screwed over harder than we did.
Right.
Oh boy.
No, you know. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So tune in as the boys
Redemption
redeem
story.
themselves this week. Again, we'll be back with Dudes After Dark on Friday. We'll be there again on Saturday for the pre-recorded Saturday show for now. And we'll be back again next Sunday. You never know what we're going to bring. We just, we barely scratched the iceberg of this foodie world. There's so much involved with food and all that good stuff. So stick around. Always here, 4 nights a week, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it in the songs. Love you. Be good. Be good at it. As our buddy Nombre would say, we'll see y'all